How you doing, guys? Big Matt Dance School here again today, and I've got a very special unboxing for you. So let's take a look at what I've got. I've got this box. It's a mystery box. I got it off eBay. Let's find out what's inside. There we go. It is, you can just make out there, the word Eldar, Codex Eldar. But which edition is it? It's the very first edition that I got into the hobby during. It's the second edition Eldar Codex. So I'll pause the video here and we can take a look at it together. Here we have it, guys. Amazing, I know. It's a very bright and garish colour. All this bright blue here, the orange and yellows of the fire dragons. It's a really eye-catching Codex cover, and that's what really drew me into it. You can see there it says Warhammer 40,000 supplement as well. So you know, the terminology and the way they thought of the game was very different back then. You get all your war gear cards inside there. It's got like the Morgatar in there, which is Morgan Ra's shuriken cannon. The reason I bought this is because I either sold or got rid of my copy years ago. My mum probably threw it out with some old magazines or something. And there was little bits of fluff that I remember reading as a child that really sort of got me excited about the hobby. Throughout this, there's little key stories here, similar to the way they spread fluff out throughout current codices. And then there's all like a lot of Eldar fluff there: Infinity Circuits, the Eldar Path, Guardians, Path of the Warrior, Dire Avengers, and it goes into each spirit, each warrior shrine. I can't remember what they're called now. Yeah, each aspect warrior shrine, yeah. And then they talk about the mythic cycles of the Eldar. But there's also like little short stories and stuff that there's a big section there about the Harlequins as well. Harlequins of the Laughing God, and the artwork shows you how the miniatures were inspired. First Harlequin miniatures were inspired, and why they look so different to the miniatures that are available for Harlequins nowadays. Let's see if we can get a good picture there. Well, like if you look at this mask here, it's like half a mask, half a skull mask kind of thing. And you know, the fluff behind the Harlequins is that not the fluff behind them, sorry, but talking about war gear wise, the masks are supposed to present you with something that you fear, you know, something that the viewer of the mask fears. So that's why the Harlequins cause fear, because the mask adapts to whatever's viewing it. So two people could be viewing it and seeing completely different things. Here they talk about Slaanesh a little bit. I'm just looking for... they talk about the Exodites on this bit as well. Exodites, amazing. Loads of fluff. I'm going to have a good read through this when I get a chance. There we go. Let's look at the profile of the avatar. So his movement was 6, weapon skill 10, ballistic skill 10. I think they're both the same at the minute. Strength and toughness 8, wounds 7, initiative 10, attacks 5, and leadership 10. And then he's got special rules, psychology and leadership. Avatar cannot be affected by psychology. They had psychology back in the day instead of like fear tests. Iron body and terror, it causes terror. And there's a little, again, bit of fluff there about it. I think it's about the let me just have a quick read of it. It's basically a little bit of fluff about the Eldar preparing for war and how the Avatar is awakened. Not going into specifics about how they wake him up, but about how it psychically affects the rest of the craft world, especially the aspect warriors. This is I kept thinking back recently, and for the past few years when I've been back in the hobby, about this short story. It's only a page long. If I remember rightly, I guess this is the one. I think it's like a guy on a jet bike racing through a city kind of thing, and then he sees like the avatar was called forth from the craft world. I'm just going to pause it and have a quick read, see if it is the story I remember. Yeah, this is the story that I remember reading. It's basically about a young Eldar who he's a jet bike rider or jet bike pilot, you could say, and he's in a city of man, and it's really descriptive the way it's written. Like when I was a kid, I found it really difficult to read, like to get used to reading. But I spent, because this was only such a short story, I spent the time, reading this, and I think I read it through a few times because it's really descriptive, and I really like that in stories, in novels now that I read, in like a lot of the Horus Heresy novels, just going into great detail of description. Some people don't like that sort of thing, but I like it because it really enables you to build the world in your mind. It talks about bombed out skyscrapers that are tombs for thousands and stuff like that. And it's the sort of thing that really inspired me in the hobby. You can see to the left here as well, I've just noticed that, Eldar Pirates and Eldar Dragon Knights as well. So they could be, this little section here could be the inspiration for me building some Exodite Dragon Knights maybe. They've got the individual units of the Harlequins there as well. I remember this page, I remember looking back at it over and over again. Let's flick through to see some of the images of the miniatures. There we go. Oh, actually, it looks like it might be 2 pages long, that story. I was mistaken, but it is the story I remember. So here's the miniatures, the avatar of Cain there, and of course the classic just goblin green bases, but with a bit of sand on there for texture. Eldrad Ulthran, he's only just recently come out with a new miniature for him. It was a 1995 miniature maybe, or it was a mid-90s miniature anyway. Then they've got a few Craft World colour schemes up here. My Craft World is Biltan. And then Ulthway Guardians, they were yellow and not so much bone back in the day, but now they have bone helms and bone coloured weapons as well, I think. The classic jet bike there, and some Storm Guardians or Black Guardians of Ulthway. They're in the next Full Arcadia book. I think there's a hint that they'll be returning in some force. And then Warlocks of Ulthway there. Phoenix Lords, really bright and garish colour scheme on Baroth there. I used to really love that, and I wished I could paint like that. Just the gradient of colours you get on the wings there. I love that sort of thing. Looking back and looking at it now, it's like it is really garish and like sort of comic book like, sort of maybe like pop art inspired or something. And of course the Phoenix Lord Karandras of the Striking Scorpions, he was a miniature that made me one of the miniatures that made me get into the hobby in the first place, because the Striking Scorpions were like, I just found the look of them so pleasing that I went out and bought a load of Striking Scorpions. So we've got the old Warp Spiders there, Dark Reapers, Dire Avengers. It's most of the colour schemes are quite similar still. Of course, Eldar used to carry las pistols and las guns. The Guardians would carry las guns as well as shuriken weapons. In here, yeah, we go. We can see there the plastic Guardian kit that was like a single posed 10-man Guardian squad. They came with las guns instead of shuriken cannons. And there we go, the Striking Scorpions. Now I've got every single one of these, and the Exarch as well. And I think when I stripped these, the ones I've got, and they just sat there unpainted at the minute. But when I paint them up, I think I'll try and do them something close to this colour scheme, just as a tribute to the model. Most of my Eldar Force, you'll not have seen it because most of it's unpainted. but it's all the pewter miniatures, so it's all these ones that you see here. I don't have a lot of the new ones. I do have the new Wraith Guard and Wraith Blades, but most of my Eldar miniatures are these ones. Yeah, so here's some miniatures. No, there's the Striking Scorpion Exarch. Sorry, it's not that one. That one's just a different colour scheme, different temple colour scheme. There's a Harlequin, Dark Reaper Exarch. That's one that I never got my hands on, so I'll be looking probably on eBay every now and again for him. The Dire Avenger Exarch, I only just recently purchased one of them. And then we've got the Solitaire Eldar Scout. I've got some of the old Eldar Scouts as well. I've got the newer ones of them as well. So that's it, basically. I'm going to leave it there. There's more vehicle sheets and stuff like that. But yeah, I just wanted to show you what I got and how excited I was about it. So let's flick to the back. Let's see what's on the back. Ooh. Right. I'm getting very excited now, so I'm just going to leave it there. I'll flick to the back page and I'll show you this. I used to look at the pictures over and over again, and just like the classic, terrain pieces that you'd take the pictures on. It's an old like castle that they've turned into some kind of a bastion, and it's Blood Angels versus Eldar, and one of my friends at least that I was into the hobby at the same time with. He collected Blood Angels, so we used to have a little rivalry going. We only ever played a few games, but that was it. So that's the Eldar 2nd edition Codex. Just wanted to share that with you. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you on the battlefield.